Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Our top story, a 6.0 magnitude earthquake strikes close to the Nevada-Utah border. This is grocery store surveillance video of the early morning quake that occurred about 11 miles southeast of Wells. Nearly every building in that city is damaged. Residents in Wendover and even here in the Salt Lake Valley felt the quake. Although the damage is extensive, only 3 people have minor injuries. So what if an earthquake happened here? Most cities along the Wasatch Front sit atop a massive fault.
We have more team coverage tonight. Fox 13's Erica Vaughn looks at what you can do that could save your life. But first, Fox 13's Candace Gale shows us what could happen to your neighborhood. Candace?
Yeah, Bob and Hope, right after the quake hit this morning, an emergency operations center was activated right here in Salt Lake City. And they did that to take a closer look to see if Utah is prepared to weather a quake like the one that hit Nevada.
If 6.3 on the Richter scale hit 200 miles east of where it did, are we prepared? Are we ready? Are we fast on our feet?
Homeland Security activated today in Utah, the basement of the state office building serving as the Emergency Operations Center.
What we see in Wells is very much what we would see on a more wholesale scale here in Salt Lake City.
Storefronts of old buildings and older homes like these could tumble in a 6 magnitude quake. And an earthquake like the one in Wells today is statistically more likely to happen here than a big one.
A lot less fatalities, a lot less casualties from that type of event. Still a considerable amount of structural damage, non-structural damage. A little bit like Northridge.
But our state is preparing for the big one, and that would be a 7. It would shake homes like this, and it would cause massive damage if it was centered along the populated Wasatch Front.
On the 7 side, you can very easily get an event where you lose a building that has several hundred people in it. That's kind of a realistic scenario.
Also realistic, significant loss of life, about 6,000 people, with serious injuries to around 20,000. Those are all overwhelming for our infrastructure to handle.
On the big one, it's pretty scary. It's a $42 billion loss in damage related to buildings.
The Capitol building you're looking at there has been reinforced. Again, structural engineers telling me that the URMs, or the unreinforced masonry buildings, those older buildings made of brick, would likely be the first to tumble, buildings older than 1970. If your home is newer than that, you're in better shape. But it's interesting to point out that even some reinforced buildings could be in danger. For instance, the Marriott Library at the University of Utah has been reinforced. It would likely withstand a quake like the one in Wells, a 6.0 magnitude quake. However, if the big one that they talk about, the 7.0 quake, were to hit, it would likely topple. And of course, if it was a busy time of day with many students inside, there could be a catastrophic loss of life. Live in Salt Lake City, Candace Gale, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, thanks, Candace.
So, would you know what to do in an earthquake? Do you hide in a doorway? Maybe turn your couch over? Fox 13's Erica Vaughn is live now with how to survive. Erica?
Yeah, you really could be anywhere when a quake hit. You could be walking through a parking garage, you could be in your car driving, but the first thing experts say you should do is calm down. Easier said than done, but then you should hit the ground, cover, and hold on. What would you do if an earthquake struck? Would you know what to do?
I would not know what to do.
Do you know what to do in an earthquake?
Go under a table?
If you're inside, we always hear you should stand in a doorway, but a better option is to get under a sturdy piece of furniture, like a dining room table.
If you can't get under anything sturdy, actually get to an interior wall and sit up against that wall.
Next, stay away from windows and mirrors, anything that could shatter and cut you. If you're still in bed, the experts say just stay here and use a pillow to protect your head. If you are outside, stay away from power lines, trees, and buildings, and then you need to drop to the ground.
Drop, cover, and hold is what we say all the time. And basically, you're going to drop to the ground, cover and protect your head, and hold that position until the earthquake, till the shaking has stopped.
And if you're at school or work, underneath a desk is the best place to avoid injury.
Duct tape?
After the shaking stops, the Red Cross says having a 72-hour emergency kit is key to being self-sufficient in an earthquake.
It could make the difference between being injured and being able to survive.
Okay, so if you are driving when an earthquake happens, you should slow down and then pull over somewhere where something isn't going to fall on you. And also you should avoid bridges and overpasses. For more tips from FEMA and the Red Cross, you can log on to our website, myfoxutah.com, search the keywords safety tips. Live in Salt Lake City, Erica Vaughn, Fox 13 News, Utah.